It's hard to even put into words what I've done, because every time I really stop to think about it, I feel disgusted at myself. I know how it looks. While he was battling cancer, I was here living a double life. Meeting men from bars, dating apps, pretending to be single, even using another name. There's no excuse. I wasn't someone who slipped once. I cheated multiple times with multiple men at the worst possible time. I betrayed him when he was at his most vulnerable, when he needed me to be his partner and protector. When D-Day happened a month and a half ago, he had just gotten his final chemotherapy round. He was exhausted, carrying so much, and I dropped a bomb on his life. I trickle-truthed. I made him play detective to drag the full story out of me. That part alone makes me sick. Watching him cry, rage, and break down while I fed him half-truths. I know he was ready to walk away, and the only reason he didn't was because of the kids and the financial situation we were in. That fact alone is something I'll carry with me forever. The part I struggle with is that I did love him. I fought for him, stood by him through his disease and treatments, but somewhere along the way, I broke. The therapist calls it narcissistic defenses, unresolved trauma, chasing validation, and that's exactly what it was. I chased shallow ego boosts through one-night stands because I was too weak to face myself. I compartmentalized, told myself, this doesn't touch my real life, my marriage. I dissociated from the consequences. I became someone I never thought I would be, the woman who betrays her very sick husband. Since D-Day, I've collapsed in ways I didn't think possible. I've had to stare at myself and acknowledge how disgusting my choices were. I've tried to take accountability. No rug sweeping, no blaming him, no minimizing. I've made financial and legal changes to give him security. I've tried to be patient during his spirals, to answer questions, to take therapy seriously. I want to be the partner he deserved all along, and I know right now I'm not. But here's where I keep failing him, emotionally. I can understand what I did. I can list every single way it destroyed him, but I can't feel it the way he does. My brain just shuts down. I've avoided emotions for so long, since childhood, that I don't know how to deal with them anymore. When he's in pain, either physical or emotional, I can hold space for a little while. But then I run into distractions, YouTube, sports, anything. Not because I don't care, but because my mind overloads. I've told him this, and I know it sounds like another excuse, but I want to feel. I just don't know how. Our therapist says this is a long-term nervous system adaptation, something that might take years to undo, if it ever fully changes. I see the exhaustion in his eyes, and I hate myself for being the cause. He doesn't feel safe with me, and honestly, I don't feel safe from myself. I want to believe I can become the woman he and our kids deserve, but I see his hypervigilance, his anxiety, the way he lives in paranoia because of me, and I don't know if my effort will ever be enough. I shattered the foundation of his world. Even when he says if it weren't for the kids, he'd be gone. I know he means it. I ruined something irreplaceable, and all I can do now is try every day not to ruin what's left, but I know I might already be too late. Update. I don't even know how to begin this. I was so hopeful when I found this community. I thought I could reverse all the damage I caused, that I could use all the techniques mentioned to better myself, to erase the damage. But he's gone. He left for his parents' house, and last week I got the divorce papers. The kids are with him, 18 female and 16 male, and they're so disgusted by me that they said they don't want anything to do with me. His mom is looking after him because he's still weak. He has cancer. It hurts in a way I don't have words for, but I know I caused it. What hit me today is how much my entire reality has flipped. I used to be someone who knew my husband would never cheat on me. That certainty, that trust, was just part of the air I breathed. Now I'm someone who knows I cheated on him, and everything else in my life looks different through that lens. The world feels duller, less bright, less hopeful. Being home used to be comforting. Now this house just feels like an empty shell. I sometimes imagine what it must feel like for him to be somewhere he feels safe again, with people who support him, and I can't blame him for running there, especially considering how weak he is with his disease eating at him alive. When he was at work, I used to wonder if he thought about me. Now all I can think is how I betrayed him while he thought we were okay. If he didn't answer the phone right away, I assumed he was busy. He probably assumes now that if I don't answer, I'm lying or with someone else. That's the life I built. Suspicion, doubt, paranoia. I never wanted this to be my life. I didn't want to be the mother whose kids refused to see her. I didn't want to be the wife who destroyed her marriage, who left her ailing husband so broken he had no choice but to walk away. And yet that's exactly who I am now. What sort of a monster am I? Edit. Okay, his cancer is mid. Not at a life-threatening level. No, I did not cheat on my husband on his deathbed. He was diagnosed early, and chemo is just a precaution, but it's a bitch, and he's never known to have good tolerance anyway. Comments. It feels unbearable, like you've lost not just your marriage, but your identity. What helped me was realizing that of course they're angry now. You broke their foundation, but feelings shift with time. Don't assume this is permanent, and please don't torture yourself by replaying every thought of, if he's at work, is he with someone else? I spiraled with that for months and it only fed my shame. He may not want to be with you anymore, but that doesn't erase every moment you shared or the fact that you can rebuild yourself. Whether he comes back or not, you can't let this moment convince you you're unlovable forever. I thought my life was over when my marriage ended. I told myself the same things you are now. I'm pathetic. I destroyed everything. My kids will never forgive me. But over time, I realized some of that thinking was just me punishing myself endlessly. Yes, we made terrible choices, but we're still human beings. Try to give yourself space to separate you from your actions. You did awful things, but that doesn't mean you are nothing. Your husband is doing what he has to right now, and your kids are following his lead. That doesn't mean there's no path back to at least some relationship down the line. Be gentle with yourself where you can. If you keep piling shame on shame, you'll collapse under it instead of doing the slow work of changing. Story 2. So I'm late 30s, husband's pushing 40, 2 kids, 12 and 9. Earlier this year, I was transferred to another city for a new placement. He stayed until he landed a new job. While I was here alone, I started spending time with one of my colleagues. 23 male, single, fit, knows how to please a woman. He's gone down on me more times than I can count. I've given him head in my car after work. We've had sex in my bed, in his bed, in the shower. Sometimes I let him stay over when the kids were with their grandparents. It was glorious. It wasn't just sex either. He offered me an emotional connection, something my husband has been lacking in recently. We'd hang out like we were dating, movies, dinner, cuddling after. I straight up called him my boyfriend, and we even joked about vows. Fast forward, my husband finally moves here, and of course, everything spirals. Of course, he noticed things didn't add up. He found out about the dinners, that my AP had been in our place. He confronted me, pressed me, asked over and over if it was physical. I swore up and down it wasn't. Just friendship, just bad boundaries. He wants to believe me so badly it's almost pathetic. He does all the childcare now, works his demanding job, and still tries to play detective on me in his free time. Meanwhile, I've got a younger guy a few blocks away who knows exactly how I like it, and a husband who keeps tying himself in knots trying to figure out the truth. He's pressing hard, but he has no actual proof beyond what I admitted. And why would I hand him more? I've got stability, kids covered, a husband desperate to keep the family intact, and a hot AP who gives me everything I miss. This is the sweetest deal possible, and I'm living my best life. Anyone else here juggle the worried spouse while keeping their fun going? Tips on keeping him off my trail long term? Thanks.